I think you guys will remember this one. I had it in about 6 months or so ago, I guess. Sony TC854 4-track 4-channel reel-to-reel machine that I had that bad connector on the heads and a few other things. I think this number was also bad on, if I remember. Anyway, this one's back because the owner of it had a little accident while they were transporting. It kind of got dropped, so let's see what damage has been done. I've been dragging this one out for a while. I worked on this thing months and months ago, and this is the one that the owner of it dropped it. Well, they said they bumped a wall with it, but these are heavy machines. They bashed up the cabinet here a bit. They also bent the spool. If you look here, the reel is bent. So I don't know what other damage has been done. I've been kind of avoiding it just because it was subject to an impact. I'll leave it at that because I don't know how far it fell. But anytime something like this gets dropped or banged around, including in shipping, it can do a lot of damage. So we're going to look at this one today and see how extensive it is and what's wrong with it. Okay, got a tape threaded up. We got a reel that's... We got problems here. It's all going to be this reel is jammed. And it, of course, won't rewind at all. Yeah, okay. I got to get my tape rewound now. This spool is obviously where the problem is. See if we can straighten this up. I guess first things first, we'll take the reel apart, see where the damage is. It's obviously pushed in. You can see how much further back if we take a look at the two hubs. This one's been pushed in. Whether it's just can be adjusted back out or whether it's been damaged. So the first thing I got to do is I got to remove the face from it here so I can take a look at the reel itself and see how extensive the damage is. And just giving you guys fair warning, there's probably going to be a lot of racket because the tree guys just showed up across the street to take down a tree or something. And I can just picture it now. They're going to have their wood chipper going. And it's going to be loud. Just disassemble that. You have to take off, I don't think I take off the block here, and I think I could probably remove the front without. Maybe we'll take the camera and film taking down the tree if it gets too loud. Of course, you remember this one. This is the one that the plugs in the back had broken before, and I'm hoping that the damage that's happened to this is just mechanical and that we can take care of this without having to strip it down too much because, well, anytime a unit gets dropped or impact, you don't know what kind of damage is done. I'm hoping it's just going to be something that's relatively minor. Fingers crossed. I just probably jinxed it. See what I mean? We're gonna be dealing with that noise. Okay, should we lift this off? And now the bell, now the phone rings. What else is going to happen? I'll take out these screws here. I just want to take the hub off and see what supports it in behind, because obviously it's been pushed in, and I don't know how bad it is. It might have just slipped on the shaft. That's what I hope, and I can just adjust it. Yeah, okay, that comes off there. Never underestimate the usefulness of an endoscope. Do you see what I see right there? There's an adjustment screw. Alright, I should be able to loosen that off. And is there one or two? I'll just turn the thing a bit here. Prop this up so I can see what I'm doing. Don't we just rotate? It looks like there's just the one. Oh, there's two. There's two of them here. So I've got to get an Allen key in there, and we'll try to loosen this off and raise this back up so that we can get the height correct for the spindle. So this could be a relatively easy repair. All brought to you by having an endoscope that we can actually inspect without having to tear things apart any more than we have to. Love it. I guess it might be a little easier if I take this bracket out of here so I can see what I'm doing. So hopefully these two screws will remove the bracket and I won't drop anything. I think these two should remove this bracket. It might make it a little easier to see what I'm doing in here. Alright. Now, just have to get the Allen key in there, and I'll use the scope here to see what I'm doing. Okay, I got one. So we can get the other one in here. It's tough to reach, but it's reachable. Okay, loosen that one off a bit too. All right. Now I should be able to pull this thing forward a bit. I've just been pulling the spindle out a bit. I'm going to measure to the other side. The other side is exactly 37 millimeters. 37 millimeters to here from the back. And this one here, I'm at 38. Damn, I'm a millimeter too far. Actually, you know what? I'm very close. This side here is precisely, I know you guys can't see it on camera because of the way that the angle is, but this one here is, there's my 40 millimeters there. 40 millimeters, oh, 38 millimeters actually, 38 millimeters. And this one here is also at 38 millimeters. So I think I've got it. I think I've got the height the same. If I measure them on both of them, if we look on the inches scale, it's exactly, be right on the 1.5 mark. And then we look at this one here, it's right on the 1.5 mark. So I think we've got them the same. See, you guys can see that? I think we got them the same. I'm going to tighten the screws down here with the same amount of difficulty as I had taking them apart. Actually, it probably won't be as bad now. As you can see, I took the whole brake assembly off just to allow myself a little more room to work. It's a what size is this thing? 5/64" Allen key, by the way, for those keeping track. I thought it would be metric, but nope, this is not metric, this one. So let's get the endoscope in there again so I can see what I'm doing, because I have to kind of it's a lot harder than it looks working this way because the camera's not exactly straight, so I have to kind of try to figure out where I am in the space here. There we go. Okay, I can tighten that one up now. And do the same for the other one. Give it another turn here. And hopefully that's all that's wrong with this thing. It's just the hub got pushed in. Okay, that one's in place. Now we'll move to the next one. Get my little camera back in there again. I'll try to get a shot of this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so the next one is this one. we can just tighten this one up. Alright, that was tight. Okay. That should hold this in place. I recommend you get an endoscope if you're doing any of this type of stuff. These things are fantastic. Little borescope. This one's a very small one. This is a test long, by the way, that I got. Just give them a little bit of a plug. I don't use it very often, but when I need it, and it's fantastic. This one's got 3 cameras on it, right? So it's got cameras on the side. So if I push a button on here, it will switch to the other camera. So if I'm looking at this one, this is the end camera, but I can switch to a side camera on the side here, as you can see. And there's another camera on the other side. So you can see, you can see this on the side as well as the end, either side. It's a great little camera. I love it. I've got a few of them, but this is by far the nicest one I've got because it's so small. And you can record the footage too, right? If you're using these for an inspection, right? If you're inspecting in a wall or in a duct or something, you can record the footage right on the unit itself. I'm not obviously recording footage on it. I don't need to record on here. I'm just needing it as a way to see what I'm doing, and for you guys to see what I'm doing, just shooting the screen delivers the same results because you can see what I'm doing and see what I'm seeing at the same time. So that's why I do it this way. Power off because I'm done with that. Now time to start to reassemble this unit, and hopefully it's going to work. Fingers crossed that there's no further damage and I can get this nice old Sony. This is a Sony, isn't it? Yeah, this is a Sony. Get this nice old Get this nice phony reel-to-reel back up in operation. So I took the take-up spool off only so that I could measure. Now I can put this one back on. You gotta line up the holes here. I get a kick out of the radio talking about all the people that can't drive in the rain because it's rained like today for the first time in like months. I guess there's chaos on the road because nobody seems to know how to drive. God help us when it snows the first time. All right, put this one back in place. I gotta put the brake kit assembly back on this other side. To hold the Jesus clip in place so that it doesn't go flying somewhere where you don't want it to go. You pop it in place. You know why they call it a Jesus clip? Because when it flies off you say, Jesus, where did that clip go? Ha ha ha. Next goes back the shroud that goes around here. And then I can put the hub back on. And the hub goes back on. At least the tree pruners have gone for the day, I think. I think this damage is a lot worse than just the spindle being pushed back. I think it might be there might be damage to the motor itself. Let's just see. I'll try to put it into How did we rewind on this? Let's rewind there. Yeah, I think the motor itself is screwed. See, that's rewind and it doesn't want to turn. I think the motor itself is screwed, unfortunately. Because that should be spinning like crazy. That's rewind. Let's play. Fast forward. Lots of torque on this one. Put a rewind and this thing just barely moves. I'll take this off and see whether it turns any more freely without this. I don't think it's the hub that's dragging. I think it's the motor itself. I think in addition to it pushing the shaft back, I think it probably pushed the shaft right through the motor and damaged the motor itself. Because this should be spinning like crazy and it's not. There's nothing holding this up. I don't think there's anything holding this. Make sure that this isn't caught on anything. Make sure this isn't bent. Okay. Let it move. Oh, good. That's better. Okay. I guess it was just this was when I tightened this down, it was dragging. That's a little better. Okay. Whew. Scared there for a minute. That's looking better. If I hit rewind, that's better. Excellent. Okay, we'll try that again. Let's remount the tape hub again, and we'll try it and see if it works. Fingers crossed. Everything's going to be good. All right, got to put the front bezel back on, and we'll give this thing a try. And hopefully, there's nothing else wrong with it. And that all the damage was just sustained to that hub getting slammed back and sliding back on the spindle a bit, and it hasn't damaged anything else. I guess we'll find that out pretty quick once I get the tape threaded up and we can try it out. So here's my tape. If there's no other damage to this thing, the owner of it is extremely lucky. And I hope there's no other damage. Whoops, might help if I thread it up right. Get it around the auto stop lever down here. Moment of truth. You know, I think this hub's going to have to be replaced because I think there's drag just from the thing being bent. I think there's drag there. It sounds like a lot of wow in there, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I can feel the tension. I might be able to adjust that. We'll just rewind the tape here. See if the rewind works, which it does. I might be able to adjust that back tension, but it seems like there's an awful lot of tension on there, and it could just be the bent parts. Every time it's making a rotation, it seems like it's tightening up, and that could just very well just be a bent. I mean, the motor itself could be damaged still, and if that's the case, we're kind of. That's one of the reasons I've been putting this off for the last. It's been sitting here 3 months, and I've been kind of avoiding it because I was afraid that it was going to be in sad shape, and then it basically becomes a waste of time for me if I'm spending a whole bunch of time on something that's not repairable. Oh, this is adjustable here. Let's see here, play. See, it's got back tension on it, but you can see even that is sticking. It might be that this bracket is bent that holds the pad, the brake pad in place. Let's just, I've got the piece of solder wrapped around here just so that I can operate it. But you see, if I just pull forward on this, I think that's bent. I think that little arm is bent there. So let's just try straightening that up a bit. I'll just pull it forward. I think the whole chassis may have got bent in a bit. So we'll just pull that back a bit and see if that will free this up. Okay, let's just try threading up a tape and just see how it sounds now. See if I get rid of that wow. I'll just do it without even putting the front cover on it. And this tape is recorded at 15 IPS if I'm not mistaken. So we'll flip this up to 15 and hit play. See how this sounds. Ah, sounds a lot better. The tension there. Oh yeah, much better. You know what I think it is? I think it was just the shaft is bent, and I just had to straighten this up a bit because as it wobbles, it was running up against the bracket that was too tight. That sounds a lot better. Whew. I'll put my tone on. We'll listen to a straight tone. That sounds pretty good. I think my tape was erased at that point, or something happened to it. Yeah. You hear the treble drop off. Something happened to my tape. Yeah, that's on the tape. Yeah, that's on the tape. So that's nothing to worry about. Let's just try the other channel here and see whether there's something on this other channel. Probably going to play backwards if it was recorded going the other way, but let's see. Maybe it was recorded on a 4-track. Interesting. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here, folks. That seems to be working. I'm going to throw a tone on and we'll just take a listen to how this thing does tone, and then we'll try recording on it. And a little more confident now that it's going to be okay than I was when I started on this. I'll tell you that much for sure. Okay, this is the 1 kilohertz tone. See how it sounds. It actually sounds a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I guess I got it fixed. Excellent. Well, I'll throw the front on this unit, and then we'll do a test recording, both the front and rear, of course. And the owner of this one can consider themselves extremely lucky that they didn't damage anything that was irreplaceable or repairable. They just shoved back the hub, jammed it right into the chassis so it couldn't turn. Okay, I'm going to record this at 15 IPS. We'll start this up. I'm going to record the same track to both the front and the rear. We'll start with the front recording here and hit, I think it's that, gets it into record, and then I'll select track 66 from my little MP3 player. And okay, we got a problem. It's not recording. Wonderful. I'm on. Switch. Just the switch is dirty. There we go. I'm now playing it back, right? Yeah. Dirty switches. Let's do this to both. Now these were clean before, it's just that it's been sitting around for a while, so without them being switched, they can get oxidated again, and just flip them back and forth a few times. That'll clean up any crap that's in them. So we're hearing playback because we're playing back the tape. Here's the source. And here's playback, and I can control it by one channel's a little lower. I can adjust the volume here. There we go. My MP3 player might be a little bit low on my channel. Let's play back. Three 3/4. should go back and re-record this on the tape without fiddling around with it, so at least I can use it as a tape for testing stuff. Okay, let's check the front channel, and then we'll be done with this one. Oh, that was the front. Let's check the rear channel. Alright, we'll put this in tape mode. Rear channel is armed for recording. We're recording. It's track 66 again on here, and play this one, do this one as well. Why do I not hear anything? Why do I don't hear anything? Alright, now what the hell's wrong with it? Well, we've got more problems. We've got electrical problems on here as well because it doesn't record on the rear channel. What else is wrong? Maybe we got a broken board on here, right? So I had my hopes up there that the damage was just going to be restricted to the tape spool that got damaged when it was dropped, but we clearly have a problem. It's not recording on the rear channel. We've got source, and I put it on here. Where are we here? We've got source on it, but no tape. Oh, I don't have any music playing. Oh, duh. It might help if I play it. Alright, I got source going in, but when I flip it to tape, it's not recording. So we have a problem. Another problem on here, which now requires more disassembly and more testing, and what else am I going to find wrong with it? I've only been on this now for about 3 hours today. It's now like 5 o'clock at night. I started on this right after lunch. I had to stop there for a while because the tree guys were sawing away and running the chipper, so I kind of had to take a bit of a break there while those guys were making all that racket. But I've been on this now for about 3 hours to get this thing back together and working, and well, it's not working properly. It won't record on the rear channel. Listen when I tilt it. Listen what happens. Something's loose in here. Something's loose. I guess I gotta pull it all apart. I think someone's trying to pull a fast one on here because you see the person that owns this one, even though this number is the same, that's just this chassis number, not a serial number. The person that brought me this says, this is the one you fixed. We're going to look at the video and you'll see that I removed this connector and soldered all the wires directly down to the board. Let's take a look at the video. So here's the shot off the YouTube video. I'll play it. And the connector was broken. I tried to glue it. It was originally a brown, or like a clear connector, and I soldered the wires directly on because of intermittent connection. As you can see, this has clearly got a plug on here. You know, unless they went and cut all the work off and put a new plug on. But why would someone do that? I don't know. I think someone's trying to pull a fast one on me here. Let's see why this thing's got no... And this screw fell out of it, by the way. That's what we heard rattling around. There was a screw inside it. That fell out. So I just pulled all the cards out and reseated them. Maybe one of the cards, when it got bumped, got knocked loose. So I just unplugged all the cards, plugged them all back in. We'll turn this thing over and put a tape on it and see if it records now. All right, one more time. We'll make sure that everything's set here. I get my source set. Get my tape recording going here. Record mode. Start recording. Whoops, what am I doing here? Help if I push the right button. Record. Okay, play. the other channel to make sure it's recording. Yeah, we're recording. Okay. Whew. At least it wasn't anything more serious. Just, I guess when it got bounced, it knocked something loose. Or that screw that was inside was shorting something out. I don't know where the screw came from. I have no idea where this screw that fell out of it came from. I guess I should take a look and see if I can spot somewhere quickly before I put it back together. But I'm going to throw it together now and get this one off the bench, because it's now been on the bench for the better part of the day. Nothing else done other than this today, and I do have other stuff to work on. It's just this has been sitting here all day. Alright, see if I can figure out where the screw goes, because it goes somewhere, although it doesn't look right. It's a black screw. I don't see any black screws on here. I wonder where it came from. But it was in the bottom of the cabinet rattling around. You guys think, you think someone's pulling a fast one on me, or do you think they went and changed that plug and put the plug back in? I don't know why anybody would go to the trouble of putting a plug back in. Another point of failure, right? I mean, when it's hardwired in, why would you go to the trouble of unhardwiring it and putting another plug back in? It just doesn't make any sense why anybody would do that, especially given the history of these plugs breaking over the years. But sure looks like something's awful fishy here. Since I did take it apart, I did throw some cleaner on all those switches, since I was in anyway. No real serious damage, other than the shaft that was slammed in on the front and jammed up. And I just pulled the cards out. It was the record cards I pulled out. Just pulled the 2 record cards, or 4 record cards, because it's got a left and right rear and a left and right front. I just pulled the cards out and just reseated them. So together it goes. These go together by just tipping them a bit forward, so that the back can be slid on. And once you get the back on far enough, you can lift the unit up and slide it back in. Couple screws on the top to hold the chassis in place, and then flip it up on its feet and put the 6 screws in the back. Look at this, these marks all over my bench. These things weigh a ton. The owner of this will be happy to get it back. I'll be happy to get it out of here. And we've saved another one. Moral to the story, don't drop your reel-to-reel machines. It won't do them any good. Alright, the unit's back together. We'll just do a final recording. I got all 4 tracks armed. And switch these over here. Okay, this one is, make sure the fast forward works and rewind works. It's got a tape lift too, so you can listen to it with noise. Alright, I'm done. Whew. I've spent too much time on this today for what I'm going to get paid. Well, maybe I'll get surprised and get paid well. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. The moral of the story, don't drop your reel-to-reel machines. And I know the person that owned it didn't drop it on the floor and have it go tumbling. They were carrying it, and I think they said they stumbled. And anyway, the machine took an impact. It hit the tape spool. As you can see, it's still a bit bent, but it's no worse for wear. It's really not going to be a problem. What happened was when it hit, it shoved this back and caused the motor to bottom out, or caused the hub to bottom out on the chassis, and it wouldn't turn. So we reset it. We're the same height as this one. We're within 1 millimeter. We're within 0.5 millimeter actually on the two of them, because I got it as close as I could get it. We're good. Just so you can see it here, right? Four millimeters, right on the 4 millimeter mark, and we go over to the other side over here. We'll see that we are right on the 4 millimeter mark right there. So our reel tables are exactly the same from the face. Good enough. Thanks for watching.